DreamWorks has a lot of classic films. Some were successful upon their release, and spawned huge franchises like Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and How to Train Your Dragon, while others weren't initially successful, but later got a following and became beloved classics like Road to El Dorado, Over the Hedge and especially Megamind. But there are films that nobody really thinks highly of even if they were box office hits. Films like Madagascar, Home, and today's subject Shark Tale, a film that is not beloved, but a film that I think deserves another glance. It's not perfect and nowhere near the best animated films, but it is a film that I enjoy every time I watch it. So today let's talk about why Shark Tale is an underrated masterpiece. So the story is about a fish named Oscar who wants to be recognized and valued but isn't very dependable. After blowing all the money he owes to his boss, he ends up in the outskirts of the reef. A shark who is supposed to be learning how to be a shark and eat fish tries to save Oscar. His brother sees this and tries to eat the fish himself but gets killed in the process by an anchor. Oscar takes advantage of the situation and lies saying he killed the shark, which garners him instant fame and the title of the Shark Slayer. The lead shark of the Shark Mafia hears of this and wants revenge. Oscar bumps into the shark that doesn't want to eat fish and helps him start a new life in the city. Secrets are revealed, character relationships are put to the test and conflicts are escalated. The story isn't anything special, it's the typical protagonist in the bottom of the food chain, literally creating this big lie to get something, and when something comes in that jeopardizes it, the conflict escalates until the truth is revealed. We've seen this a bunch of times: Aladdin, A Bug's Life, Hotel Transylvania, and Over the Hedge to name a few. But the story isn't really the charm of this movie, it's the characters and the scenarios they find themselves in. Now I know that depends on perspective. A lot of people find the characters, mainly Oscar, incredibly unlikable, and while I understand that opinion, Oscar isn't completely irredeemable. Yes, he does a lot of stuff in the movie that is awful and despicable, but he does eventually learn the error of his ways. As somebody that has been dismissed by society and often shut on, I completely relate to Oscar's desire to make an impact on his society that would garner him attention and love. But while a lot of people crave that, respect is earned, and those that truly love you will see you for who you are and be there for you regardless of your status in society. Which I think makes Oscar's arc more endearing and realistic. Angie is a very good character. She's sweet and always tries to encourage Oscar and even goes out of her way to help him out, as seen as when she gives him her grandmother's pearl in order to pay off his debt. She's also very endearing. Her personality is genuine, and you completely understand her frustration when she finds out Oscar lied. The betrayal, the shattering reality of who she loved has become, and the rejection, it's all shown through her facial expressions. One of the most underrated love interests in animation history. Lenny is a cool character. I find him very relatable in how he wants to be himself and isn't like the rest of his family, but obviously his father disapproves of him not wanting to eat fish, which leads to some tension between them. He's very identifiable and sympathetic, and you truly want him to find happiness out there and be able to do what he wants to do. He doesn't really get a lot to do in the movie though, but he gets funny lines. He is a very relatable protagonist that you root for all the way through. Honestly, besides the villain, surprisingly the sharks don't really stand out to me, which is weird for a film called Shark Tale. But while we're on the topic of the villain, Don Lino is freaking awesome. He is boss. He towers over everybody and he fears nobody. He will eat you without hesitation. One of the most underrated DreamWorks villains of all time. Other characters like Mr. Sykes, Lola, Ernie and Bernie are also incredibly likable and funny and truly add to the charm of this movie. I also want to mention that the voice cast for this movie is straight up fire. I mean, you got Will Smith, Jack Black, Robert De Niro, Angelina Jolie, Renee Zellweger, and even the great director Martin Scorsese, and they all add so much charisma to their characters. They truly nailed the casting of this movie. Now the animation for this movie is not great, but I wouldn't say it's bad either. This movie is often criticized the most for its animation and character designs, and I completely understand. I mean, it's weird seeing Will Smith's face on a talking fish, kinda uncanny valley stuff, but you get used to it after a while, and it's a unique style compared to a lot of other animated movies. The animation also adds to the comedy of this movie. While most of the jokes are not inherently funny, the animation and how the characters move are so incredibly bizarre and hilarious to watch that it makes up for the jokes not hitting as much. Also, as somebody who has watched far worse animated films, this animation is not that bad. It's still got color, It's got a lot of energy, and it has a unique look to it that makes it stand out of the pantheon of DreamWorks films, and it makes this film so much funnier than it would have been if the animation wasn't so spastic and wacky. I wouldn't call it so bad it's good, more like WTF comedy. The soundtrack is legit gas. You got the iconic Car Wash song in the beginning and the end, as well as songs like Good Foot, Get It Together, Gold Digger and Got to Be Real. Just a baller soundtrack all around. So overall guys, Shark Tale to me is an underrated gem. It's not the best movie of all time, and I admit it's not the studio's best, but I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets. I completely understand why people hate it, but I still think it deserves a bit more credit for the great voice acting, the killer soundtrack, the character development, and some creative ideas with the world building. I didn't talk about it in this video since I'm saving that for a Shark Tale 2 pitch I have in the works. I think Shark Tale is a lot better than most animated films, and I really hope one day we get a Shark Tale 2. There was a time back when it came out that DreamWorks considered making a Shark Tale sequel, but because of the overwhelming hate this movie got, as well as Madagascar being more successful financially and not as hated, they decided to give that a franchise instead, and I really wish that they gave Shark Tale a chance to shine as a franchise. It had so much franchise potential, so many places it could go. But now with DreamWorks revisiting their old IPs as well as Will Smith making a resurgence in popularity after, you know what, I really do hope we get a Shark Tale 2 down the line. I mean, it has been a couple decades since the original, and early 2000s people would be nostalgic towards it. And if Will Smith really wants to be popular with kids again, I can't think of any better project to do that with than a Shark Tale sequel. And it's not like it was a box office failure. Despite being trashed by critics and audiences, it made over $300 million at the box office, so it was profitable, unlike Turbo, which flopped hard yet got a spin-off Netflix series. Is it likely? Probably not, but they did bring back Megamind and that almost made the same amount of money, so I think it's possible. Anyways, you personally may not think so, but I think that Shark Tale is an underrated masterpiece. Anyways guys, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.